There's a strange kind of distance that doesn't come from people leaving, but from slowly drifting away from yourself. You still move, still talk, still show up, but something inside you feels muted, unfamiliar, hard to reach. You don't recognize your reactions the way you used to. Things that once mattered feel dull. Things that shouldn't hurt suddenly do. And the most unsettling part isn't the emptiness, it's the confusion. You can't point to when it started. There was no single moment that broke you, just a quiet shift, a gradual fading, a sense that you're living slightly outside your own skin. You tell yourself you're just tired, just stressed, just in a phase. But deep down, you know this is more than that. It feels like losing touch with the person you were before life got heavy, before survival took over. And while you're trying to remember how to feel like yourself again, God has been watching this disconnection form, not with disappointment, but with understanding. Because He knows when the soul goes quiet, it's usually because it's been carrying more than it could process alone. You're not disconnected because something is wrong with you. You're disconnected because something overwhelmed you. When life moves too fast, when emotions stack without space to land, when survival becomes the priority, the self doesn't disappear, it goes quiet. This isn't loss of identity, it's a pause, a protective response. Your mind learned how to keep functioning while your inner world stepped back to avoid further damage. That's why advice doesn't help. That's why motivation feels hollow. You don't need to become someone new. You need reconnection. And here's what matters. God recognizes this state. He doesn't mistake numbness for rebellion or distance for indifference. He understands the language of withdrawal. God knows when the soul pulls inward because it ran out of safe space to feel. This message matters because what you're experiencing isn't failure or spiritual dryness. It's the aftermath of carrying too much without release. And God doesn't rush reconnection. He rebuilds it gently, so you don't lose yourself again the moment life presses in. Disconnection usually forms long before you notice it. It begins the moment you stop asking yourself how you're really doing and start asking how much longer you can keep going. The mind creates distance when emotions don't have a safe place to land. The heart retreats when it feels unseen or misunderstood for too long. You didn't lose yourself. You adapted. You learned to operate without checking in, to keep moving even when nothing felt anchored. Over time, that survival skill became your default state. That's why reconnecting feels unfamiliar. Stillness feels awkward. Silence feels loud. God understands this pattern better than you do. He sees how your inner world dimmed not from rebellion, but from overload. He knows that identity doesn't shatter all at once. It fragments quietly when rest is postponed, and pain is postponed with it. This isn't about finding your old self again. That version lived before certain wounds existed. God's work now is different. He's not restoring you backward. He's forming a version of you that can remain present even when life presses hard. Reconnection isn't sudden clarity. It's gradual safety. You didn't wake up one day feeling disconnected. It happened in fragments. In moments you told yourself, "I'll deal with this later." In days you pushed through without checking what it was costing you. Slowly, your inner world learned to stay quiet so life could keep moving. And now, stillness feels unfamiliar. You don't know what you feel because you haven't been allowed to feel much at all. This isn't emptiness. It's backlog. Emotions waiting for permission. Memories waiting for space. Parts of you waiting to be noticed again. That's why distraction helps but never satisfies. That's why silence feels heavy instead of peaceful. God sees the accumulation. He knows how much you postponed to survive. The distance you feel isn't because you lost yourself. It's because too much of you has been waiting at once. Reconnection doesn't begin with emotion flooding back. It begins with making room, slowly, safely, so your soul doesn't shut down again when it finally speaks. What you call disconnection is often the body and soul saying, "I couldn't carry everything at the same time." God understands that language. He doesn't interpret your numbness as disinterest or your distance as rebellion. He recognizes restraint, preservation, the choice to stay functional when feeling everything would have broken you. That's why he hasn't forced clarity. He hasn't rushed emotion. He's been restoring safety first, teaching your inner world that it's allowed to exist again without being overwhelmed. God reconnects you to yourself the same way trust is rebuilt, gradually, without pressure, without demands. The version of you that feels far away isn't lost, it's guarded. And God doesn't break guards down, He earns their release. The distance you feel is not the absence of God, it's the space He's been holding, so that when you return to yourself, you don't have to disappear again to survive. Reconnection doesn't happen all at once. It happens the moment you stop forcing yourself to feel normal again. God isn't calling you back to an old version of yourself that existed before the weight. He's inviting you into a self that can exist without disappearing when life gets heavy. The disconnection you felt was never abandonment. It was containment, a way your soul stayed intact when too much demanded access at once. And now, God is loosening the grip of survival so presence can return without pain. You're not broken because you feel distant. You're becoming safe enough to return. This isn't about feeling everything again. It's about finally being able to stay with yourself without shutting down. God knows exactly where you went quiet, and He's been patient enough to wait until you were ready to come back without losing yourself again. What would it look like to meet yourself where God has been waiting all along?